Hey everybody, it's Christina here with Kids Crafternoon. Today we're going to be making a really cute little zipper pouch. Once you make this, you're going to love making it. They're so much fun, and you can make them in all different sizes, and you can kind of just do whatever you want with them. I'm going to show you how to make the smaller size. It all is really dependent on the size of your zipper. Zippers come in predetermined lengths. This is a 9-inch zipper, and I'm going to show you how to make a zipper pouch with a 9-inch zipper, but you can use a 12-inch zipper or however long zipper if you want to make a really giant long one too. I have a 9-inch zipper, and I have cut 4 pieces of fabric, so 2 pieces for my lining, 2 pieces for my outside. I cut them an inch bigger than I want it to finish because you're going to have 1/2-inch seam allowances, and that's going to take up an inch when you get it all sewn together. You just want to make sure that your zipper fits across the same width as your fabric. Since I have a 9-inch zipper, I cut my fabric pieces 10 inches wide, and then I cut them 6 inches long, and they're going to finish at 9 by 5. Let's do this thing. First thing I'm going to do is take my outside piece of fabric. I'm going to take my zipper, so this is the top part of my zipper. I'm going to flip it over. I like to say that this is the right side of my zipper to the right side of my fabric. And I'm also lining up the top of my zipper tape to the top of my fabric, like this. And just kind of lining everything up, and I'm going to throw some pins in here. And all I'm going to be doing is sewing down the middle of this one side of my zipper tape. Make sure that your right sides are together, so your zipper is down and your fabric is right side up. Doesn't really matter which side your zipper pull is on at this point. So put some pins in there just to hold it in place. And you're going to need to have a zipper foot for this project. On most machines, it's pretty easy to change the foot, but on our machines here, this is how you're going to do it. Sometimes you have like a little screwdriver or something to change the foot, but on our machines, there's just a little black button. So look at your manual. Most machines come with a zipper foot. So all a zipper foot is just kind of a more narrow foot. It's so that the needle can get closer to the zipper teeth without the foot being in the way. So this is what our zipper feet look like. And when I attach it on here, I have to go on the left side or the right side too. Look on your machine's manual and see how they recommend putting the zipper foot on. And also most machines come with a zipper foot too. So this is just a regular zipper foot. It's not an invisible zipper foot, it's just a regular zipper foot. So to take the regular foot off, I'm just gonna push that button in the back, take my foot off, and then I'm going to snap my zipper foot on by just lowering my presser foot, and it just snaps right in there. And I put it on the left side like that. So I know that my zipper foot's on the correct side because when I feed it through the machine, my foot is kind of out of the way and my needle can get closer to the teeth. These are where the teeth are. It's kind of hard to see because my zipper's upside down, but the teeth are the things in the middle right there. So, and my foot is right out of the way. So I'm just going to start on one end, and I'm just going to sew down the middle of that zipper foot. I kind of like to look at this edge of my zipper foot. It's going to be kind of riding along my teeth here. Also, this side of my foot is going to be riding along that edge of my zipper tape. And you're just going to do a straight stitch. And don't sew over a pin. I'm going to just try to sew as straight as I can down the middle of that zipper tape. Now, the only thing that is tricky about a zipper that I really don't love is this thing. So that's your pull. And if I try to keep on sewing, that's just going to push my stitches and my needle out around like that. And I just want it to be straight. This is what I call avoiding the enemy. I'm about there, I don't know, maybe 2 inches from the end. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take that pin out because it's in the way. I'm going to leave my needle down, and I'm going to lift my presser foot. And I'm going to take the pull, and if I can, I'm going to unzip that zipper. I get the enemy out of the way, like that. I can usually do it with the fabric still in the machine, but sometimes I have to take it out, and that's not a big deal at all. Now that the enemy's out of the way, I'm gonna just keep on going. And I can sew straight. My zipper is attached to one side of my outside, just like that. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the other side of my outside fabric, and I'm gonna zip my zipper back up so I can line these up. And I'm gonna do it from this side so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna flip my zipper up like this. So this is the other side of my zipper tape. I have to sew this side to the top of this side of my fabric. So I'm gonna flip it up like that and do the same thing. I like to line up my side edges like that. We're gonna put some more pins in there to hold that. You can pin it from that side, or you can pin it from this side too, whichever you want to. This is a good reason to have the heads of your pins sticking up so that I can sew from this side or I can sew from this side. Doesn't really matter. I can still pull my pins out. I'm actually gonna sew from this side because I like to see my zipper when I sew things like this. It's just a little easier to see. At this point, my enemy is right at the beginning. So what I'm gonna do is get the enemy out of the way first off, just so I can start sewing without it getting in the way. And same thing again, sew my zipper tape. Okay, so I'm pretty close to the enemy. I'm gonna now again leave my needle down, lift up my presser foot, zip it closed, and then I don't have to worry about the enemy anymore. Just like that. The outside of my fabric is sewn to my zipper. When you open it up, it looks like that. Now we're gonna attach the lining. So lining is pretty much the same thing, but the good thing about putting the lining on is that you already have this line of stitching that you can follow. So for the lining, what I'm gonna do is get one of my lining pieces. My lining that I chose is a solid color, but you wanna make sure that you have right side to right side. What's gonna happen is that I wanna make sure, because my lining is gonna get sewn onto that side, I wanna make sure that this is the right side. So basically what you're thinking about is that you have the wrong side of your lining to the wrong side of your fabric at this point. I'm gonna slide my lining, line it up just like that. My zipper is sandwiched in between my outside and my lining. I put some pins in there. Now the good thing about putting the lining on is that I can just follow this same stitch line that I did. This is a little bit like a puzzle. Just knowing which way to put things together. But just know that you need to sandwich your zipper in between one layer of your lining, one layer of your outside of your fabric. This is the stitch line I'm gonna sew on, but just know that my lining is getting stitched on and it's gonna be on this side, but I'm actually gonna sew on that side because I wanna stitch right over that same stitch line. And again, like always, avoid the enemy. The enemy, again, is pretty close to the top, so I'm gonna slide it down, give it a little pin, put a pin back in there, and then I'm gonna try to sew pretty close to that same stitch line. I can feel the pull of the enemy right there. So I'm gonna get pretty close to it. Make sure my needle's down, lift my presser foot. I'm gonna pull, I'm gonna open it up so you guys can see what I'm doing here. So I'm gonna take this pull and zip it up, get it out of the way. And now I have one side of my lining sewn on. And I have to just sew on the other side of my lining. Same thing again. So here's my side that has my outside sewn on, my lining sewn on. My zipper is sandwiched in between my lining and my outside like this. If this ever gets really tricky, because sometimes this is a little hard to explain, what I like to do is pin my fabric, how it's supposed to end up, and then work backwards from that, because bags, lined bags especially, can be really weird. But just know that you have your zipper sandwiched in between your outside fabric and your inside fabric like that. And you want to make sure your outsides are right sides together. And then when I sew this lining piece to this side of my zipper tape, I want to make sure that these right sides are together as well. So I'm going to do that now. So just lining up my lining piece on the other side with my zipper sandwiched in between. Slide some pins through there. Got a little tangly mess down here because the machine was kind of squawking a little bit, but it's all right. It'll all be on the inside, not to worry. At this point, I can feel that my pull or my enemy is all the way down at the bottom, so I'm going to start and sew all the way down to probably about there, unzip, and then sew up the rest. Again, following my same stitch line as I did before. All right, I'm getting pretty close to the enemy. Lift my presser foot, unzip, there we go. Hopefully I can straighten out that little knotted up bit. Zipper is officially on. So you're just going to check it and make sure that everything looks good. So there's my outside, flip it over, there's my inside. So see how the zipper is sandwiched in between each layer. So if I had a printed fabric for my lining, I want to make sure that this is my right side so that my right side isn't getting lost on the inside of my bag, because when I unzip it, this is going to be in the inside of my bag. So right sides, right sides. The next thing you're going to do is go back and change your foot back to your regular foot, and same thing, I'm just going to push that button, my zipper foot plops right off, put my regular foot back on, just like that. And now what I'm going to do is unzip this about halfway. If I don't do that, it's going to be hard to turn right side out. And I'm going to flip it together so that the right sides of my outside are together, the right sides of my lining are together. And I'm going to pin. I'm just going to slide my layers together. And have them matching up as best as I can. So here's my zipper tape, and it's kind of standing up. So I'm going to push it down toward my lining, just like that. I don't want to make them go opposite directions. I want them to go the same direction, just like that, down toward my lining. I'm going to put a pin in there. And right now I'm just looking at my sides. It's okay if my bottoms shift a little bit. That does not worry me. I'm more interested in my sides lining up at this point. So again, I'm going to take my zipper tape and push it down toward my lining. Put a pin in there so it stays. Pin my side seams like this. Okay, so now at about 1/2 inch seam allowance, I'm going to sew this together. And I have to flip it over and sew that together. Again, good thing that I have my pins going the right way so I can still pull my pins out. 1/2 inch seam allowance, I'm going to start at one side seam. When I get pretty close to my zipper, since there are some metal parts on a zipper, when I'm going over my zipper tape, I like to just turn my hand wheel. Always make sure you're turning your hand wheel toward you. I just like to walk it over that, just in case there's a metal stop on my zipper, because if my needle hits that stop, it's for sure gonna bust my needle. So I just like to kind of walk it over that zipper tape. And then I can finish on my fabric. Same thing on the other side. Get pretty close to my zipper. And turn my hand wheel. Just until it gets over that zipper tape. And finish up that side seam. I know I have to sew the bottoms together too, but I can't sew the whole thing shut because there will be no way to get into my bag to turn it right side out. So I'm only gonna, at this point, sew the bottom of my outside fabric together at about 1/2 inch. And that's a real easy part. All the hard part's done now. The bottom is sewn up. And now we get to turn the whole thing right side out. Now open up the bottom of my lining. This is why I had you unzip your zipper about halfway, because it's kind of nice to unzip it all the way. And you're gonna pull the outside bit out, take your finger and poke out those corners. You could clip your corners too if you wanted to. Now I have the right side, so my corners poked out. I think that looks pretty nice. So now I'm gonna take and pull the lining out, and I like to pop this bottom seam together. So how I do that is I'm gonna go to the side seams, kind of fold under the fabric at about 1/2 inch, kind of feel that, and then I'm gonna just pull, and you see how all the fabric kind of pops inside like that. And this is just the inside of your bag. You're gonna be the only person that knows about this, so don't fuss about it too much. Just kind of guesstimate. And then I'm gonna take the iron, and I'm going to iron that down. This is fighting me a little bit. Does not want to go pop inside, but just gonna work it in there. You could pin this if you wanted to too. I'm not going to. I always cheat this part. I just do it quick and dirty. Just pressing those edges in, just so I don't see no raw edges. Both of my lining edges, that bottom seam, are ironed down, and I'm just gonna sit down at the machine and just do a quick little machine stitch to stitch those together. If you wanted to, you could like hand stitch this closed. I'm not gonna use a matching thread color, but I would recommend using kind of a matching thread color at this point, because this thread color is definitely gonna show. So now I'm just gonna stitch this down. Since this corner is a little bit bulky, there's lots of fabric in there, I'm gonna start a little bit further than I usually do. For this stitch, my seam allowance is going to be 1/8, and I'm using contrasting thread color so you can kind of see where my stitch is going, but again, I kind of recommend using a pretty matching thread color. When I start sewing, I usually start about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. I'm going to come down just a skosh more because the machine's not going to like all that extra bulk in that corner. So I'm coming down just a little bit further than I usually do. I'm going to go forward, and then I'm going to press my back stitch button and go back to that corner and then come forward again. Sometimes the feed dogs have a hard time gripping the fabric and pulling it through if there's too much bulk. And I'm just straight stitching that at about 1/8. Do a little back stitch at the end and trim my threads. That's why that's a good idea to have matching thread color, because that does really show. And then I'm going to push it inside my bag. I'm going to push my corners down. Zip it up. There you go. You have a nice little zipper pouch. Just like that.